guys, Jill here, and this is the video that I've been promising you guys. I kept putting it off, and then I got a chance earlier today to play with all of this stuff a little bit more. So let me tell you about what I have. I've showed you in some haul videos, but I know a lot of you don't like haul videos, and that's fine, I understand that. So I'll show you the product again. So first, what I have here are some molds, and these, I have a bunch of them that I've shown you, but these are from Mold Muse on Etsy, and they have a huge selection of, cameos, flowers, little pieces for like doll making and little cakes and that kind of stuff, or you can make your own. And these are the ones I made myself earlier tonight, and the only thing is they just do attract stuff from around the house. So like little specks and stuff stick to them, but it doesn't interfere with the way they work at all. So what I got was, let's see, this one is the Amazing Mold Putty. I got it at Hobby Lobby with a coupon, so it was like $11. And you get these two really big containers. So just think you're going to have that much mold because you combine them. So I've already made 4 molds out of it, and you can barely tell. Then they also have Amazing Casting Resin. Same company. This is $14.99 at Hobby Lobby. And again, my husband used 40% off. So I think this was like 8 something. So these two products are in the clay section next to each other. And look how similar they are. So the yellow is the mold and the purple is the resin. I wanted both, but the molds you can use with clay. You can actually heat them in the oven if you're just wanting to buy one, or if you're wanting to buy the molds and do the resin. Doesn't matter, and you can find this stuff online, but I found that I did a lot of research, and I found this was the cheapest way to do it. So here are my first experiments with the resin and my first experiments with the mold. Now, I showed you in a previous video where I use Ranger's Melt and Pour. This stuff is just as good. It combines to form a purple color. Mine's all gone. So the easiest thing was for me to just go over to Hobby Lobby and pick some up. So again, they work the same. This is, again, the things I made earlier tonight. I used this mold to make these little teeny tiny flowers. Now, this was my first attempt, and I knew the air bubbles would be a problem, and I still have to conquer that. And the color in these is Spun Sugar Distress Ink. I learned that from Jennifer McGuire's video. And all you do with the resin is you combine A and B and then put a few drops of your distress ink in there, because in her video she was using a clear, I think it's ice. The ice is about twice as expensive as this before the coupon. But again, if you can't get it, you can't get it. Or you can order it from Hobby Lobby or from somewhere else, But this brand I really did like. And so, like I said, it dries white. So what I wanted to do, my main goal was the cameos. And I don't have the actual pouring under control yet, because it comes with these 3 little cups. And you put part A in one, part B in the other. You don't combine them yet, and then you're supposed to combine them in the third one. And then that resin dries in the third one, and you can no longer use it. So I'm trying to conserve that third one, so I use these. And I don't even know where I got these from, but I have a tube of them. So they're a little bit harder to pour, so I have to get some Dixie cups, because that's what they ultimately recommend. And they come with a few stir sticks, but again, craft sticks, anything. Okay, so this one I poured too much, but I don't know if you can see it was this cameo. And the butterfly dimension actually came out in the mold. So I'm planning to work on this one. I'm thinking maybe some syringes. And then these two I thought turned out, except I didn't put enough of the pink in. But what I did with this was I first poured the white, because I set aside some white before I put the ink in it. And I did pretty good. And, you know, some of the spots didn't take with the white, but that's okay. Then I poured in the pink. Well, I had done some blue ones, and they got really bubbly, and the backs got really puffy. I can sand that down. So that's a recommendation there. Just be careful with the backs. They say you can add more to the mold afterwards, but I probably should have overfilled this one just a little bit. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And that's from my Mold Muse mold. And then this other one I'm going to be doing, now this is not the color I'm going to be doing it in, but I don't know if you can see, but this is a cameo, but it's a skull. And that is another one of the Mold Muse molds that I used. Then this one is one of these little pieces from Prima, I think was these. And I pressed it in, and then this is what came out. Now remember, when you do the molds, everything shrinks just a little bit in these molds that you make yourself. And again, I had a few problems with air bubbles, but I still think they came out really cool. So I thought it was a pretty good. And then this one, I don't know, again, if you can see this detail, it's got one little curled up flower and then two other flowers here and some leaves behind it. It's teeny tiny, and again, it's a Mold Muse mold. Okay, so I was really happy with the way these turned out. And just to give you an idea, here is what I did with clay in these same molds. And this one I just covered with some white rub and buff, and then this one I did with white paint, and then some of the gloss Sculpey. And then these little guys are all clay. And you can make them glossy and make them look like resin with clay with these kind of molds too. So there's a ton of possibilities. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I made a mold. And we're going to do this guy here. And if you want to see, oh, here's one that I did that I mispoured. But look at how that detail came out. I put in some white resin, and I should have just, if I'd known that was there, I would have just poured a little bit more white resin around it, but I didn't know it was there. So that's my first experiment. Okay, so let me show you how to do the molds. They're really easy. And like I said, we're going to make one with this mold. Actually, let's go over to the craft sheet. Now, something I did find about the craft sheet is that the resin will dry on it and you can just pick it right off. So I love that feature. So work on your craft sheet. Just don't try to clean it up when it's wet. So here's the part A and part B of the putty. This is a cool tool from Ranger for using with the ultra thick melt pot. You're just going to pull out equal parts, and you can determine equal however you choose. I just roll one ball with one of the colors, and then another one with the other. Okay, so you have a very short work time with this, okay? It's like 3 minutes total. So what they say is when you combine these two, you want to leave about a minute for this whole process. Okay, so I get them both in my hands here. This one's just bigger. And they don't do anything till they're combined, so they stay soft. Okay, then once you combine them, you just start smushing them together and have your item ready. And I kind of mush it around in my hands, roll it around. and you want it to all turn one uniform color. That's the goal. Because if you have like bits of white and bits of yellow, it's not going to set. Okay. Hope I'm not making anyone too dizzy here. So then I take the ball and I kind of smush it down with one of my stamp blocks, get it ready for the embellishment. And this even still has its little glue dot on the back of it. Then I stick it in, make sure it's all pushed in the way it should be. Then you're going to come in with your mount and you're going to kind of work it. I like a nice even edge on the top here because if I am using clay, I want to be able to cut across with my clay knife. And with these molds, see how it's flat? I've been able to do that with both of them. Okay, so that is it. You set that aside. It doesn't take long at all to dry. And I'm actually going to set it off to the side. Excuse me while I reshape it a moment here, because earlier I was just leaving them, because you don't want to move them once you've molded them. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, so like I said, with these, you just do the A and the B and a few drops of your re-anchor. And if you want to see me do that, let me know. I'll do another video because this one's already 12 minutes long. Okay, so there you have it. There's your molds. Here's a few samples of some of the things I've done with them so far. And thanks for watching and have a great day.